He is the former odds maker at Caesars Palace. He is the host of the Bet the Boards podcast. He is our sports betting expert, the one and only Todd Fuhrman in a beautiful checkered shirt. And Todd is a huge hockey fan, as you guys know. Look at that shirt. It's beautiful. The Oilers, Todd, in an 0-2 hole heading home Thursday night. Big underdogs to win the Stanley Cup now. Are you buying the idea, Todd, that this team can come back and win the series currently at FanDuel sitting at plus 365?
Do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think it happens? Probably not, Jay. And when you look at the dynamic of what we've seen unfold through the first two games, you have to imagine the Oilers are ruining the opportunity that slipped through their fingers in game one, where your boy, Sergei Bobrovsky, stood on his head and stole one. Florida then comes back with that suffocating defensive effort against the Oilers, holding them to one. Yes, a grand total of one high-danger chance over the course of 60 minutes in all situations, something that even the Blackhawks and Sharks didn't accomplish yet this season. And then you throw in the Leon Draisaitl high hit on Sasha Barkov. You can take whatever side you want. I don't think the Panthers take their foot off the accelerator. And while I do expect it to be a little bit more wide open with a faster sheet in Edmonton, I think we're talking about the Panthers getting a split, whether it's winning game 3 and losing game 4 or vice versa, and maybe having a chance to close it out as early as game 5. So I can't buy into the Oilers just yet, especially given the rash of injuries with Darnell Nurse, Evander Kane and company nowhere near 100% right now.
So if you don't like the Oilers at around 4-1, maybe you like Scottie Scheffler at around 4-1. He is the favorite to win the United States Open Championship that begins at Pinehurst #2 on Thursday morning right here on TSN. Do you like Scheffler at around 4-1, Todd, or is there someone else where you see a little more value?
You know, honestly, Jay, when you look at Scottie's dominance, having won 5 of the last 8 tournaments, you can understand why he has such a short price in the outright market. But at the same time, given the volatility we may see on Pinehurst #2, I can't back him at a number like this. What's even crazier, when you look at his top 10 price, it's north of $2, meaning you'd have to put up more than $2 just to make $1 coming back. I'm going to go to a Scandinavian that I know I backed in one of the previous majors, let us down a little bit. But I think Ludvig Åberg, priced at 22-1 right now at FanDuel, is probably the best number out there. I do think we see the winner come from that upper class, knowing how difficult this rough could be to play out of. I know they've talked that it's not traditional U.S. Open rough, but at the same time, with fast greens and a potential for holes to get pretty loose, I'll take Ludvig at 22-1 and hope he can redeem us, given all the opportunity that he's let us down with, along with a fellow Scandinavian and Norwegian and Victor Hovland a couple short weeks ago.
We've given enough love to the Scandinavians, Todd. We got to talk about the Canadians now. Let's check out their odds going into the U.S. Open. Corey Connors, Listowel, Ontario's own, has the best odds, followed by Adam Hadwin, who's coming off a third-place finish at the Memorial last weekend. Todd, are you giving any of them a chance this weekend?
I mean, do I get banned, Jay, if I don't make a compelling case for a golfer at a price of 90-1 or greater there on that illustrious Canadian list? I think if a Canadian audience wants to get invested in this tournament, one of the interesting markets that FanDuel does make available is the top performing Canadian. And Corey Connors is the short shot there at a price tag right around plus 250. You mentioned Adam Hadwin's current form. And look, I can see people trying to take a flyer on him at 200-1, but maybe you're looking to take him at a slightly shorter price in that 4-1, 4.5-1 range to be the top performer amongst his countrymen. I unfortunately don't think we're going to see that Maple Leaf up there in the top 10 as we come down the back stretch on Sunday's Final 9.
All right, let's not worry about Canada. Let's move over to Europe for Euro 2024. It begins right here on TSN on Friday, and the favorites are England, Todd, followed by France and Germany right here on FanDuel. We see the odds, the outright winners. But what we want to know, Todd Fuhrman, who do you like?
Well, look, Jay, I look at that board there with England and France sub 4-1, and I think the English side has some questions that they're going to have to answer. I haven't been a huge fan of Gareth Southgate's tactics, and you look at this group, he brings in a roster that's played a ton of domestic football across Europe's top leagues, and the short turnaround for me is a cause for concern. I look at the French side as well, and I think this number's a little short despite them being the most talented group. You saw Italy there at 15-1. I think that's a team that I actually want to look to bet against. I know they're the defending champs, but defending champs haven't fared all that well. So by default, if I'm looking at one of the favorites, I think this Portuguese side has all the makings of a team that can make a deep run. I know Cristiano Ronaldo will be that household name, but he's in a much more reduced role now for Roberto Martinez's side. And while you do wonder about the manager's inability to get the best, given the change at the helm from when this club, nation I should say, won it back in 2016, I think Portugal amongst the favorites would be the team that I would look at. If you're looking for a little bit more of long shot value, I think Austria and Hungary offer a little bit of upside as well. Hungary north of 100-1, and the Austrian side coming in between 70 and 90.
One of our soccer analysts, the Scotland international Stephen Caldwell, liked Austria, and he liked Portugal as well. This is how great Todd Fuhrman is, dialing into some of the key points that our analysts are making and providing that information to you, the better. Todd, enjoy Euro, enjoy Pinehurst, and we'll talk to you next week.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
And don't forget, we are the home of Euro 2024. I mentioned Stephen Caldwell. He'll be there, part of our broadcast coverage. The former Scotland international as Scotland opens against the hosts, Germany. That's 3 o'clock Eastern time right here on TSN. When we return, it's the highlight of the night.